So we're at the third phase of a buying decision. This one is the actual decision component. So as mentioned, the first stage we've already gone through is awareness. Second stage is momentum. And then the third stage is decision. Now, when we go into this phase, there's a few different things. Now, firstly, what is most important is that you do have momentum. In a sense, you do have a decent amount, a strong amount of investors actually in your deal room, or you've got strong conversations going with investors. In fact, when most people get to this stage, what they're looking to have is they're looking to have indications. So this is investors saying, look, we're looking to participate with this amount, we're looking to participate this amount, etc., of at least 50% of your capital raise before you go into this in this sort of decision phase, or this sort of momentum from the momentum phase. So what is important about that is if you have that amount, then for you, it makes a big difference, because when you're going through the capital raising process, every investor knows it, every company knows it. The hardest part is always that sort of first 50%. So really, ideally, you're looking to bring on in this first awareness and momentum phase, you're looking to get the indications from those first investors coming in above the 50% mark. Now, with human nature, we always work to deadlines. We are being conditioned on working to deadlines, and it's just a common thing. And what you'll find is if you don't have deadlines, what typically happens is people will take their time far beyond what's sort of required than to actually than to actually make a movement. So what we encourage at this stage is that it's important to set a deadline, and it's got to be enough where, whether it be a sort of 1 or 2 month deadline, it's got to be enough time frame for someone to have time to make the decision as they're going through that consideration phase. So typically what we encourage people is when they get to that indication amount around about that 50%, it's an ideal time to put a 2 month time frame on that final amount, right? Because what that helps you do is in that sort of decision making phase, it helps you drive everything towards that date. Now, in that time, what's important from an activity standpoint, it's not just about asking for money, etc. It's really about you demonstrating milestones. So there's a couple key different things, right? So firstly, we encourage people when they're in this phase is to make sure that you're putting out announcements related to either milestones you've achieved, new people you've got coming on board, money that's already come through the door. So you're showing that the traction on the capital raising component, if that's already sort of taken place. And then also make sure you're highlighting any new significant customers you've been brought on. Communication is the key, because as I said, everyone's always asking investors for money. What's super important is about demonstrating your ability to set milestones and then achieve those milestones. Now, you may set, 5 milestones and you may achieve 3 or 4. Still, it's showing that you, as a founder, are demonstrating your achievement of milestones consistently, right? So, announcements is important. I also recommend hosting webinars and information sessions for potential investors. Sometimes they may not want to be chatting with you directly, right? But they may just want to observe and get an update sort of privately without having conversations with you before they then bring themselves forward. Now, the next part is you can then, once doing webinars, invite for one-on-one discussions, because if people do want to ask questions directly, you want to provide that opportunity. This, even though you're setting a deadline for everyone to work towards, you still got to, as a founder, make yourself available or provide opportunities for engagement. The other thing I recommend is to provide video updates, right? What's beautiful about video updates is, effectively they can watch it on their own time. If you're like me, I'm sure you watch videos in the morning and also you watch videos in the nighttime. And often it's a great opportunity for investors for stuff that they're interested in, an opportunity to have a watch of it. So if you're putting out a product release, if you're putting out an update on a new client you got, or if you're putting out just a generic update on your own business, just let them hearing from you. Put that content out, because like I said, it gives an opportunity to get engaged with your company. I always think about it out when you're going through that capital raising, it's that platform to engage. No different when you're moving into this decision-making phase. And then the last part, what's important is that proactive follow-up. Understanding that people do get busy, they may forget, there's other things coming their way. Doesn't mean that they've lost interest. They've just got other things. Everyone's busy, like absolutely everyone. Everyone's got a lot of content coming their direction. So proactive follow-up is important in that phase. So So let's go through those key elements. So those 5 key things to be doing when you're going through the decision-making phase. So the first one is make sure you're doing milestone announcements and updates. Make sure you're hosting webinars and information sessions. Make sure you're providing the opportunity for one-on-one meetings. Make sure you're putting out updates, whether it be via written or video updates out to your potential investors. And the last one is proactive follow-up. So I hope that sets the groundwork for the 5 key things that you should be looking to do in the decision-making phase. So this phase is all about converting interest into an actual transaction.